Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is straight out of Boston, and today I'm back for episode number 10 of my Boston Red Sox Out of the Park Baseball 17 series. So today we're back with the 2017-18 offseason. After finishing up season number 2, we were eliminated in the ALDS by the Minnesota Twins, who ended up going on all the way to the World Series, but I believe they did end up losing. Let's see, it was the Chicago Cubs who did take down the Minnesota Twins, and they won the World Series. I don't remember if it was their second straight. No, it was not. They did make the playoffs last year, though, but they did not win the World Series in 2016. They did win in 2017, though. So there you go. Cubs finally end the curse there. 109 years, 110 years, something like that. I can't quite do that math, but anyway. So we are back with the live commentary format for this series. I mentioned in the previous episodes that I feel that is really the only appropriate kind of format to do this series on, just because it's so hard to get my thought process incorporated into the commentary when I'm doing the post-recording commentary. So we're just going back to the live comms for now. So we've got some personnel leaving that we need to replace. Torey Lovello, Carl Willis, and Chili Davis. Neither of them, or none of them, I should say, want to return to Boston, so we're going to have to go out and replace them. First, the one we will do is with the bench coach. Let's try and get a good bench coach. Preferably a sabermetric one, although maybe not so temperamental. Tactician, maybe. Personable. Sure, we'll go with this guy. So that is that. Now we go to hitting coach. Definitely want to get a good hitting coach. I know this is pitching, excuse me. We don't really have, I would say, more. Well, I guess David Price is our best pitcher, and he is a power pitcher. We have some power arms like him and Eduardo Rodriguez, so we'll go with a guy who favors power pitchers. And then hitting coach, let's go to probably Brock Jacoby, since you're, yeah, Brock Jacoby. Or Brooke Jacoby, I guess it's not Brock. Brooke. He's the only one with an excellent reputation. So there you go. Now let's go to the inbox. We've got some option year decisions to make. So Craig Kimbrell, he's got a $13 million option. He had a 2.44 ERA last year. If we tried to negotiate an extension with him, I'm sure he's going to want more. Yeah, upwards of $15 million. So I think we should just take the 13 for now and worry about extending him later. Alan Craig, definitely not going to pick up his option. It's almost completely forgotten about now. And then owner goals. He wasn't, John Henry wasn't really too happy. He was hoping for us to do a little bit more in the playoffs. So I don't know. I don't really know what to tell him. We only won 87 games. I guess that is in part my fault. But anyway, so addressing, the state of this roster as we head into this offseason, I think really the area where we're going to need to improve upon is the starting rotation. Let's go over the guys who are going to be free agents. We've got Chris Young, Tyson Ross, Steven Pearce, and Greg Holland. Holland, a 4.71 ERA last year, not too good. 1.1 wins above replacement, though. He had a nice strikeout per 9. How many guys did he walk? He walked almost 4 guys per 9, so that was his deficiency. Only looking for 3.6 to come back, and we've got plenty of money. So I think he's worth, taking another flyer on, giving him another year. We'll go to 3.5 and try to bring him back. Steven Pearce and Chris Young, I think, there's still room for a guy like either of these, a right-handed bat for the outfield, but I'm not really sure if I want either of these guys back specifically. Young isn't really looking for too much. I mean, maybe if we could get him on a 1-year deal, and honestly, maybe even go 1.5 million. I don't really know if he would take that. Yeah, he wants to test the open market at that rate. I honestly think we're better off looking at the open market as well. So we're probably going to let both Young and Steven Pearce, who's kind of a disappointment for us, walk. And then Tyson Ross is the big one. So we could have extended them for around $15 or $16 million a year last offseason. I decided to let his contract year play out. He was okay, 3.87 ERA. I was honestly looking for a little bit more out of him. His FIP was, let's see, extended pitching stats 2, I believe it is going to be under. Nope. Let's try expanded pitching stats 1. Nope, okay. Was it under 2? Oh, yeah, so it was. Okay, 3.93 FIP. So, yeah, not really too great. I was thinking he was going to be a little bit better. And now he's, looking for almost, actually more than $20 million a year on average. So we're definitely not going to re-sign him for that money. That would be foolish. Instead, we're going to qualify him and give him the $15 million a year qualifying offer. If you were to take that, I'd be pretty satisfied. I mean, I think Ross is probably worth right around $15 million a year. Maybe a little bit more, to be honest. And, getting him on that 1-year deal, I think, is better than having him for a longer term. So Anyway, letting Ross go, though, means we're definitely going to have to look to bulk up on the rotation because minus him, we only had David Price, Sonny Gray, who, was okay when he came over for us last year. Nothing too great, though. Matt Barnes, who, was up and down last year. Eduardo Rodriguez, same thing, up and down, although he's been mostly down for his Red Sox career so far. He's always had a good strikeout-to-walk ratio, though. Just got to hope the BABIP comes down and the home runs maybe come down a little bit. I have hope for Eduardo, though. And then we have Alex Reyes still, Trevor Bauer. So we've got some options for starting pitching, but I definitely think we're going to have to add at least one, if not two starters this offseason. We can take a look at the AAA team, but most of the help is coming in the way of position players and like Rafael Devers and Andrew Benintendi. AA, same thing, Dominic Foscalina and Kyle Tucker. So we're definitely going to have to go out and add some starting pitching. But let's go back to the salary arbitration screen. So, yes, we're not going to bring Alan Craig back. Mookie Betts, he is actually open to an extension, I believe. And I would like to lock him up, I think. He has turned into a very spectacular player for us. Nothing, like MVP candidate worthy, but he's been a 4-win player the last 3 years. And could have been in 2016 if he hadn't gotten hurt, to be honest. He's put up a pretty good slash line, good defense. So, overall, very good player. I'd like to lock him up. I think now is the time to do it before his price gets, or his price tag gets too hefty. So let's try to negotiate him down to like 22 a year when he gets to that free agency year, and we're going to want to negotiate down the money a little bit as well. So let's pay him 6 this year. We'll go a little bit higher than we have to, and then we could even go to 11, 17. We don't need this to be a team option yet, and then 22. He's 25 right now, so we could go 7 years maybe with the team option on that last year. And we'll try to go for the $0 buyouts. So his 2024 season would put him at, so he's going to be 25 this year, so 26, 27, 8, 9, 31, 2. Nope, 31 would be his option year, so we can even go 8 years then. And his age 32 season would be that option year. All right, that's a fair deal, so hopefully he will accept that. And then Xander Bogaerts is a Scott Boras client, so I'm trying to play it out realistically and just go year by year with him. Now, Scott Boras, did obviously re-sign Steven Strasburg lately, and oh my goodness, oh man. Wow, it's so tempting to get Bogaerts under that extension. I mean, screw it. He's so close to free agency. Look at that. Oh man, that's such a good deal. But I have to do that. We could even get that down to 15, I bet. I'm sorry, but I have to extend him now. I was going to play it realistic. I really was, and he's basically the same age as Mookie, so we can go identical, 8 years, get that buyout, that $0 buyout on the last year. We'll go 6-5 this year, and then 11, and then 15. All right, and he likes it, so hopefully him and Mookie will be signing on then for years to come. Bradley, so Bradley had 2.2 wins above replacement last year. Not really doing much at the plate. I think bringing in a right-handed bat, like I said, a Chris Young type, to supplement some of Bradley's ABs against lefties, I think would be a good idea to fill in that gap. I guess we're going to be playing him in left. We still have Stephen Piscotty, of course, so Piscotty and Betts is going to make up 2/3 of our outfield. Blackman I don't really want to bring back. We can withdraw any offer to him, especially because it's going to be around $6 million. Brock Holt, Holt is getting to the point where he's a little bit too pricey to be a bench player, and we do have some infielders, who are around 1.5-star, 2-star rating, so I think we can let Brock Holt go. I don't want to pay him that to be a bench player. Carson Smith we definitely want back, 3.39 ERA last year, looking for 1.75 or so. We'll go 1.8. Okay, Robbie Ross, he was actually not that great for us last year. Looking for about 1.6. I don't really know if I want to pay that for him either. We can let him go. We have Tommy Lane, who we can pay $800,000, and they'll probably be the same exact, or give us the same exact production. So we'll just bring back Lane then. And then Bauer we'll bring back. Not really looking for any money, so might as well. But we definitely, I don't really want to call him a lost cause at this point, but it's kind of pointing in that direction. Sonny Gray, obviously want to bring back. We made the trade for him, and he's got 2 more years of team control. I'm not sure if he'll be on the roster all or both of those years, but certainly for 1 more year at least. We will see what he can give to us. So 6.825. And all right, that is that. So I'm going to sim forward now. All right, there's one free agent that I did not get to yet. It is Jordan Walden, and he was pretty effective for us down the stretch last year. 33 strikeouts to just 5 walks in 28 2/3 innings after we got him on waivers from the Dodgers, and he's not really looking for a lot of money, so I say we bring him back. We could do 2 years and maybe 4.5, and honestly, if I could make that 1 year with a club, I would. I'm not sure if he'll take that, though. Can we make it a club option? Not bad. All right, let's just try to do 2 years guaranteed then. Or we could even do 3 and make it a teamer. I'm definitely not giving him that player option, though. And let's try to get it down to 4.5. I don't want to pay too much for Walden. I don't really think he's that special. Not really liking it. All right, so I think we'll probably let him walk then and just try to replace him in free agency. All right, so we've reached December 1st. It is the start of free agency. So let's get to some news here. I've not looked at any of the AL awards yet, but it looks like Dustin Pedroia won a Gold Glove. Oh, also everyone who we gave like contracts to is signed on. I kind of take that as a given, but probably should at least mention that. So Bogarts and Betts accepted their extensions. Holland is back for 1 more year. Gray accepted. We got our pitching and hitting coaches and our bench coach. So all good stuff right there. Pedroia won the AL Gold Glove at second base. Reliever of the year. Nothing going there. Silver Sluggers. Did we win any of these maybe? Does not look like it. Holy smokes. The Rangers, though. They had, let's see, 3, 4, 5. They had 5 Silver Sluggers. Oh my goodness. Joey Gallo with 62 home runs. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Jesus. That's unheard of. At least these days. Oh my god. Carlos Gonzalez had 45 home runs. Nomar Mazara hit 51 home runs. He was a rookie. Holy smokes. What are they putting in the water down there in Texas? That is unbelievable. All right, the skipper of the year, nothing going there. Texas, yeah, no surprise. Cy Young goes to a reliever in Ken Giles. That's interesting. And MVP, Joey Gallo. Yep, probably pretty well deserved there. Hit 62 home runs, I would say. Probably pretty fair if you win MVP. Anyway, all right, Tyson Ross declined the qualifying offer, so he's a free agent now. That's what I was hoping for. Like I said, if he had accepted, I would have been fine with it. But getting the draft pick back for him, I think, is ultimately the best thing for us long term. Although we're definitely going to have to try and replace him in free agency. So I know it's not going to be a great class for starting pitching. Actually, no, it could be better. I'm confused. I was thinking more of like this year's upcoming class in 2016. Now that Strasburg is signed, it's going to be pretty weak, it looks like. But there was something else. Yeah, I wanted to look at international free agents, see if there was anything good here. Because sometimes, especially if there was a good pitcher, I would definitely be all over that, but nothing in this class. Good first baseman, Jesus Rodriguez out of Cuba. We'll check him out at least. Don't really need a first baseman, but if he plays other positions, all right, no. Looking for 12-ish a year. That's not bad, lefty. But we have Sam Travis. So I kind of haven't really touched on this quite yet, but I feel pretty confident and just pretty safe with, where most of our position players, or where most of our positions and, where most of our guys are slotted in terms of our lineup for next year. I mean, I think Swihart's got a pretty good grasp on the catcher's job. First base is going to be Travis. Martinez probably going to DHing to start the year, but that's certainly going to be a role that's going to be up for grabs. Moncada kind of could bounce around right now. We slotted in at third base, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Pedroia's got second base on lock, coming off another 4-win season. Bogarts has got shortstop on lock. And then in the outfield, they've already been over it. Betts and Piscotty are going to be 2/3 of that, and then Bradley and probably another right-handed hitter, not Rusney Castillo, someone else, to be the 4th outfielder. So I feel pretty good. And then, like I said before, the guys who are coming up soon in Double and Triple A, the reinforcements, so to say, are, more of the position player mold. Rafael Devers, Kyle Tucker, Andrew Benintendi, and Dominic Foscalina. So definitely that's why I'm going to be emphasizing on trying to pick up starters in this offseason. But, overall we've got good depth in our minor leagues, the top end of our minor league system. I think Foscalina could probably be called up at some point soon. And if we do that, I think Moncada could move to left field. His defensive ratings for the outfield are not bad, and I might honestly even just give him, I might edit his ratings and give him a solid left field rating just because The game is kind of slow for him to pick up a good defensive left field rating, and I don't really want that to be the case. He's got 80 speed. I mean, he's a natural athlete. I'm sure he would be fine like Mookie Betts was when he transferred to the outfield. So anyway, might do that in the long term, but for now we slotted in to play third base for us this year. But like I said, if we called up Foscalina, we could potentially put him at third base. Or Bogarts at third base, and Devers the same thing if he came up and played third for us. Tucker and Benintendi could also see time in left field, so we've got plenty of options with position players, but it really is the starters that I'm trying to collect now. So let's look at the free agent list and see if there are going to be any starters that we're interested in. We do have plenty of money to spend, so we could splurge if we wanted to on a guy. We could also upgrade the bullpen too, get a guy like Wade Davis. I kind of like the idea of this. No compensation, 1.82 ERA last year, and only looking for $8 million. I don't really want to give him that much term, but maybe $9 million over 3 years, something like that. Could even do a player option on that third year if he wants it. Let's see. All right, so he thinks it's a fair offer. So I like that offer. If he could get Davis, that would be nice. But in terms of picking up starters, I don't really know. De La Rosa looks like he's been coming out of the bullpen for Detroit, although when he was a starter a couple years ago, he wasn't bad. Could be an option, maybe a buy low kind of move here. Put him back in the rotation, see what he could do. Tanaka's a free agent. He must have gotten non-tendered or released or something. Yeah, look at that. His numbers have not been good. Probably not worth... well, the BABIP was quite high with this one. He's looking for a lot of money, though. If his demand drops, then maybe. But if his demand stays at 8 years and $14 million per year, there's no way I'm touching that. There's Jesus Rodriguez. Not really a great starter market, though, unfortunately. The only thing is, let's look at the bullpen. There are some good relievers. How much do we want to touch this bullpen? We're definitely going to have Rodriguez back there in the rotation. It's going to be a 5-man, of course. If things started like this, or if we didn't pick up another starter, this is how the rotation would look. We'd probably go something like that. And then we have Kimbrel, Smith, Tazawa, Holland. Definitely want right back in there. We definitely need another lefty, though. Reyes is an option. Not as a lefty, obviously. We don't really have much in terms of arms in the minor leagues, so if we could get maybe a Brett Cecil to go along with a Wade Davis, our bullpen would be probably pretty ridiculous. But Brett Cecil, I think, maybe would have been the better option over Davis. Cecil's demand is really high, and I don't really care that much about like the whole righty-lefty thing. I mean, I don't think it's a huge deal. Let's offer De La Rosa a contract, though. Let's just do 1 year at $1 million. Okay, he wants a 2-year deal. I don't really love doing a 2-year deal. Can I just overpay you in the 1 year? Like, what if I gave you 1 year and $1.5 million? I bet you'll accept that. Yeah, damn right it sounds reasonable. All right, so those are going to be our immediate free agency targets. And I think if we wanted to go out and pick up like a true front of the rotation kind of starter, that would have to, be via trade at this point. It doesn't really look like we're going to find that guy in free agency unless De La Rosa were to become it. Robbie Ross signed elsewhere. And I'm probably going to cut out here in a sec if no one responds back to our offers. Here we go, personal message. De La Rosa contract updates. Not what I consider a serious offer. Are you serious, Ruby De La Rosa? I mean, I'm really not going to... I'm not giving him a 2-year deal. What has he done to earn a 2-year deal? He's done zip. No thanks. I mean... Are you serious? 2 years and no way. I'm not doing that. I would rather try my luck in the Rule 5 draft or go out and try and trade for a starter. All right, Ruby De La Rosa signs with Oakland. Wade Davis, though, looks like he is, or we are still at the top of his list, which is good. That would really fortify our bullpen. Trade offer from LA. It has expired. Come on, Wade Davis, sign on already. Make me a happy man here. As we approach the winter meetings, I'll probably start engaging in trade talks as we get into the winter meetings here. Taylor Fragano. Vasquez got moved again. Let's move through the first couple of days here. anything going. We're not going to get any good offers, I would assume. From Cleveland, Mike Poppy for Stephen Piscotty. No thanks. As much as I love me some Mike Poppy. Jesus Rodriguez signs with Texas. And Davis now getting a good offer from New York, so we're going to have to up the offer to him if we want to acquire him. Let's go to 10 mil. And we could even do... yeah, let's keep it at the 3-year structure with a third-year player option. Alright, and I'm going to start fishing around in the trade market, seeing if I can find any potential starters to target, so I will be back. Alright, well, although out of the rebuilding teams, there are not many great starters available, but there is one team and one blockbuster deal that I have been working on. It involves Garrett Cole from the Pittsburgh Pirates, who, if they are truly rebuilding, then I don't see why they wouldn't consider trading Garrett Cole. He is getting more expensive by the year. He's going to be making upwards of $11.5 million this year. He's only got 2 more years of team control left, coming off of another very good season, although the ERA maybe a little bit higher than usual. But I see past that, I see that the WAR was higher than his last 2 years, and the BABIP was a little bit higher as well, leading to the higher ERA. More strikeouts per 9, less walks. Home runs were a little bit up, but anyway. Cole, I mean, obviously, there's a ton to like about the guy. A true number one. A guy who could come in and even supplant David Price as the number one. And he's a little bit younger than Price. He could be that ace moving forward for, the foreseeable future. So he's an obvious choice, for us to target him. Obviously, it's going to take a hefty package, though, and this is what we're looking at right now so far. Sonny Gray would be in the package. They're interested in picking him up. I think they figure they could sign him for a cheaper deal than what it would take to get, or what it would take to re-sign Garrett. And, they see the past that Gray's had. Maybe they can revive his career a little bit. Rafael Devers would also likely be in the trade. He's a guy that's becoming a little bit more expendable just because of the depth we have on the infield in our system with guys like Foscalina, as well as Yoan Moncada to go along with Bogarts. And, And then Matt Barnes, also another guy out of our rotation. I don't really want to give him up so much either, just because we're going to be really lacking for starters. But I'm trying to piece together the trade still right now. If I can make this a more prospect-oriented package, or prospect-centric package, I should really say, then I think I would like to. We could give up Wendell Rio in this. I think we should do that. We don't really need him moving forward. I wanted to keep him around as a bench guy, but to be able to offer him in a package like this to get the deal done, I would rather include him. Let's see if we can include someone other than Matt Barnes. We could go with a prospect like a Muzziotti, which I think we might do. He was an international guy, I believe. Only 18 years old. Yeah, his potential's not great either. So, all right, I think we'll include him in there. And then it's also Sonny Gray and Rafael Devers still. Gray. Yeah, see, this is kind of the bunch of guys that they want, and I think Gray is definitely the most expendable out of this group. I want to keep Rodriguez over him. So, but all right, that's the package that that is the package that they want. So, let's see if we can get any relievers in this as well. Maybe Hunter Strickland's. If we throw in a little something more. I really don't want to give up Stephen Wright, though. We could give up Alex Reyes. I would feel pretty comfortable giving up Reyes, although we would really be lacking for young pitching at some point. Christopher Acosta. I want to keep him. He seems like he'd be pretty decent in the future. But we could give up Reyes. Might make it a little bit more fair as well if they could get something out of Reyes. I don't really like that Reyes' control is so low. And if we could get another good reliever out of it, I think giving up Reyes would be worth it. I'm not going to get Glasnow from them. Paco Rodriguez, maybe just because, yeah, we could get him and Strickland, and I kind of want Paco just because he's a lefty. We could use the lefty at this point. Oops. Thought I was looking at Paco. There we go. Yeah, 2.58 ERA last year. Like that. All right, so we can get Paco and Hunter Strickland out of this deal as well. Tony Watson. He's older than Paco, but might have the little bit better track record is the only thing. I mean, could we get them both? Probably not, but we could maybe get him and Strickland. I mean, him and Rodriguez instead of getting Strickland, who Was pretty good last year. 81 strikeouts. Damn, I kind of like Strickland, actually, just because of the strikeout-to-walk ratio. It's consistently pretty good. Paco didn't have a great strikeout-to-walk last year. I think we're probably better off getting Watson than Paco. So let's try to get Strickland and Watson then. Okay, they still want a little bit more, really. What about something instead of Rio? That's going to be tough to do. Maybe we'll just have to settle for, well, honestly, I mean, I'd rather just get Watson, I think, because we don't really need, I mean, Strickland will be nice, but maybe if we give up another piece in our bullpen, but we can't go more than 5 guys, so that's, yeah, we can't do that. Damn it. Well, I kind of think we should go Watson then, just because he is a lefty, and that's what we need. So I think we're going to do that then. Sorry, Hunter Strickland. I would like to acquire you, but I cannot. Now, can we get Watson and Rodriguez? I think we can. All right, so there we go. Garrett Cole is a Boston Red Sox. Very exciting stuff there. Let's add him to the 40-man, along with Paco and Tony Watson. I think we've got enough room. Yes, we do. We have not reached the Rule 5 draft yet. We're going to have to deal with that in a couple days. Got a trade proposal. But there you go, Garrett Cole. So I think that trade, you know, from a realism standpoint, Pittsburgh, probably not a team that's going to be able to afford Garrett Cole, who is a Scott Boras client. So it makes sense that they would look to trade him long term. And if they do trade him, I would hope the Red Sox would jump on that in real life, as we did in this game. So we got to add Benintendi. We got to add Joseph Mong, whatever that guy's name is. Who else? Salem, this guy. He's one of us. Add him. Who else here? I don't think we see anyone else. We'll just go to 2.5 star. I don't think any of these guys are ours. Just doing a double check. Oh, what about Devin Fisher? Here we go. Missed him initially. But alright, there we go. So let's do the Rule 5 draft then. And hopefully we didn't miss anybody who's going to get taken. And alright, so these are the guys available for us. Nothing too spectacular. Justin Twine. I think he was a first-round draft pick, if I remember correctly. Hunter Dozier. Mike Poppy. Ooh. I think we'll take him. I could use him off the bench, but and the only thing is I really need a right-handed bat for that 4th outfield spot, not a lefty. Hunter Dozier would be nice if he could play anything but third base. We're kind of all set at third, I'm afraid. Any other right-handed bats, maybe? Doesn't really look like it. Drew Verhagen, no. Austin Wilson, Jacob Wilson. Yeah, nothing too intriguing here. Mike Poppy is really tempting. He could even be the backup first baseman. I'm going to take him anyway, even though I don't really know what his role on this team is going to be. But I think backup first baseman could be an option. And then Hunter Dozier still available along with Brendan McCurry. I'm not interested in McCurry, but Dozier is tempting. I just don't really think we have a spot for him on this team. Especially if we have Foscalina up at some point as the backup infielder. I mean, I don't really know who the backup infielder is going to be. Is the only thing right now. And that is where Dozier could fit in, at least temporarily. But I think long-term, that spot's going to go to Foscalina. And in the short term, we could give it to Devin Marrero or Yolan Cersei. Well, no, he's been pretty bad. Or even Josh Rutledge, the legend. Not Travis Shaw, though. All right, so we're going to skip out. We're going to pass on Dozier then and just complete the draft. All right, and then I'm going to cut out now, and hopefully Wade Davis gets back to us soon. So we've gotten to around the middle of January here, and this is when I start to, you know, kind of finalize what the roster is going to look like, and I still think that even with the acquisition of Garrett Cole, we could still use another starter, and we still need that right-handed outfield bat. So looking around at the guys that are still available, I see Lorenzo Cain here. He would be a pretty nice get. Can really only play center field, but we do have guys who can move around in the outfield with Piscotty and Betts. He's looking for kind of a long-term deal, though. I'm really looking for just a platoon bat. Let's look at all outfielders, and we can even sort by batting ratings if we want. And let's look at guys who can hit lefties. So there are still some available. Todd Glassman and this guy Rhino Rosario. Oh no, yeah, Rhino Rosario. Ryan Rayburn, Corey Hart. No thanks. This guy though, he can play right field. Looking for $2 million. I don't really see why I would give you that, buddy. What about I? I is always important. Steven Pierce. He was really disappointing for us last year, though. I don't really know if I want to go back down that road. Delman Young wouldn't be the worst option in the world, I suppose. Then there's Lorenzo Cain again. Cain, though, she's looking for a little too much money, I think. Let's sort by contact versus lefties. Yeah, Rosario again. Wouldn't be bad, I guess, but he's kind of looking for like more money than like weren't even in the big leagues last year. How do you just expect $2.5 million? But you know what? Honestly, screw it. Let's do it. $2.5 million for this guy. He's going to be our 4th outfielder at least to start the year. I mean, we do have guys like Benintendi still. As I mentioned before, who could potentially get called up at some point this year. And then let's go to starters. And we have a ton of money, so I'm honestly thinking about, you know, throwing a bunch of money at somebody for 1 year, like a Francisco Liriano maybe. Tanaka, I don't really know if we could do that with. He really seems like he wants a long-term deal. Even though I think if I was him, I would go with the 1 year maneuver. You know, he's got this I'm going to guess that's like an $18 million a year offer from the Cubs for, you know, 5 years. But I mean, what if we just did like a 1 year 25? Yeah, see, he's looking for the long term at this point. But I think a guy we could do the 1 year thing with is Liriano, because his best offer right now is only a 2 year deal, and if you're going to sign for 2 years, why not sign for 1 year? Could make more money next year potentially anyway. So he's looking for 2 years and around $50 million. So let's do, what if we did like 27.5 and made it a 1 year deal? No team option. Yeah, so he likes that. You know, we have enough money to do that kind of thing and overpay for a guy, especially if it's just for 1 year. Other than that, really, you know, the starter market is pretty bleak. So Liriano would definitely slot in as that number 3 and kind of take the pressure off of Matt Barnes and Eduardo Rodriguez. They can just, you know, be the 4 and 5 guys, and then, you know, even if we didn't add anyone on top of that, only one of those guys would have to be in our postseason rotation as it stands. So if only one of them, you know, had a relatively good season, would be in good shape, assuming that Liriano, Cole, and Price all remain healthy and play well. But of course, nothing is a given. Trying to project is always so difficult, but it is kind of what you got to do when you're thinking about a roster and dealing with a roster and managing a roster. So anyway, let's just keep simulating here, trying to hear back or waiting to hear back from Liriano. Personal message: Wade Davis finally signed, so there we go. 3 years, $30 million was his contract. I think only 2 years were guaranteed. He's got that 3rd year player option. But still, Davis is going to help fortify the bullpen. That was already strong last year. I mean, really in the playoffs, I thought it was going to be a benefactor. I thought we were going to be a benefactor of our great bullpen. Rosario, he should really just sign. I can't imagine he's going to get a better offer than the $2.5 million that I'm giving him. Preseason's about to begin. I know in last year's game... Oh, there we go. So we do lose a first-round pick for signing Liriano. I wasn't aware of that, to be honest. But that's okay. We get one back from Tyson Ross anyway. And if things work out, then we could get the pick back from Liriano next year. So hopefully that is how it will work out. And hopefully Ross signs, because if we get the compensation pick back from Ross, then it won't matter so much. And yeah, there it is. Tyson Ross does end up signing with the Cubs. There you go. Theo gets him, and then Rhino Rosario signs as well. So we snatch him up. He's wearing number 69. I like it. And all right, so that is pretty much that. We're going to simulate forward now to the end of spring training. So after picking up Francisco Liriano, that bumps Trevor Bauer from the rotation. He kind of becomes the swingman, and he has not really been effective in that role the last few years. So shopping him around, I see an offer for Drew Hutchinson, and I think this is kind of a no-brainer. Hutchinson's actually had good stats the last couple of years, and kind of can also fill that 6th starter / swingman type of role. His changeup is good enough to work out of the bullpen, so we're going to do that deal, and Hutchinson will definitely be a part of our bullpen this year. Alright, so we've reached the end of spring training. We got through spring training relatively injury-free, but we suffered a couple towards the end. Sam Travis went down for 3 months. This one's actually a pretty big blow for us with a torn abdominal muscle. And, you know, he was coming off a pretty solid year for us, 159 starts at first base. So he had really solidified himself as the everyday first baseman. And he's going to miss about the first half of the season. Paco Rodriguez also goes down for 3 weeks, which is okay. Bullpen is looking pretty tight right now in terms of spots for guys, so it's not really a bad thing that he went down. This is what the rotation is going to look like to start the year. Price, Cole, Liriano, Matt Barnes, and Eduardo Rodriguez. Kimbrel as the closer, Davis, the 8th inning man, Smith, Holland, Watson, Tazawa, and Hutchinson there for now. And as for the lineup, pretty right-handed centric, or pretty right-handed dominant to start out, as it was last year with Mookie Betts, Pedroia, Piscotty, and Bogarts. Then we've got Martinez, Swihart, Poppy, and they're playing first base for Travis at the moment. Moncada, who could probably move up if he breaks out this year. He wasn't great at the dish for us last year, so that's why I have him hitting 8th still, and then Bradley hitting 9th. And then for now, I'm going to start Bradley against lefties. You know, his ratings offensively are still a little bit lower against lefties than righties, but I have to switch around the defensive alignment to get Rosario in there against righties if I want to. So I'm just going to monitor that pretty closely to start the year. And but for now, I'm going to give Bradley the everyday nod in center field for us. So now, let's simulate forward here to the opening day. What am I saying? You can see we keep getting trade offers for Piscotty. I don't really want to trade him now. He is going to anchor the middle of our lineup, I'm hoping. But anyway, we will take a look at these MLB season predictions. I think we're going to have some favorable projections. I think the team is looking pretty solid. Bullpen's going to be dynamite. Rotation should be good. Lineup should be good. So I'm excited. Hopefully we can get over the hump this year and win that first World Series. And here we go. So season expectation is to at least reach the playoffs. Top 100 prospects. We've got Bo Bichette in the top 10. So he actually came up as a guy that Pittsburgh wanted in the Garrett Cole deal a couple of times, and it looks like it was good that we hung on to him. He was only a 4-star potential, I believe, when we made that deal, so his potential has actually gone up from then. And he was a 4th round pick of ours last year. So looking pretty good there. Other top prospects, Jason Groom, of course, he went number 1 overall, I believe. I know he actually fell to number. Oh yeah, he did go number 1. In this, come on, Biggio. Must be related to Craig. Dansby Swanson, Cornelius Randolph, some familiar names there. So anyway, let's look at preseason predictions. So yes, 103 wins. That would be a mighty fine season. 847 runs and a 3.66 ERA would be pretty good. Cubs predicted to win 110 though. Can't hold a candle to them. But anyway, looking at the projections, Piscotty, 24 homers, that would be a pretty nice slash line. Betts, that would be a really nice slash line, a 404 OBP. Bogarts, that would be a really, really nice slash line as well. Pitching-wise, Cole projected to have a 3.87 ERA. That would be a little high for my liking. Kimbrel, though, projected to have strikeout 13.76 guys per 9. And Price, 17 wins, but a 3.75. Don't really love that, so they're a little bit more skeptical of our starting rotation. I don't really see how Brian Johnson gets projected to be a top 10 pitcher, but whatever. It's a pretty nice 1-2 punch in Chicago right now. Rodon and Sale. And in the NL, any names we really care about? Not really. There's Tyron. He was another guy I was looking at targeting instead of Garrett Cole, but his price tag was equally as high, if not higher, than Cole, so it just didn't really make sense. Michael Lorenzen, surprised to see him so high. But all right, let's take a look at the top prospects as well, see who we got in the top 100 prospects list, and we'll look at the player rankings too. Let's just sort by team. So we've got Bichette, Tremaine Spears coming in at number 59, and Mike Poppy, even though he's not really a prospect anymore. I think he was number 74 there. And then pitching wide, we've got no one. All right. And player rankings, always fun to look at these. See where the league stands. So we've got Betts there, clocking in number 19. We'll take that, not too shabby. And pitching-wise, Garrett Cole should be here at least. Yes, he is. Number 5, and no David Price, it looks like. So that is that. Some interesting names on here, though. Carl Edwards Jr., Martin Perez, and Alex Wood. That's surprising. All right, well, anyway, that is going to do it. So I hope you guys did enjoy this offseason. Let me know what you thought of the moves that I did make in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.